Hello everyone, and I'm here today with an Elgato Game Capture HD unboxing and review. So we're going to do this in 3 steps. Firstly, I will show you the unboxing itself, give you an idea of my kind of experience with capture cards. Secondly, I will show you the software, and finally I will give you some video clips to give you an idea of what you can anticipate when using the Elgato. So I purchased the Elgato Game Capture a few weeks back. I kind of wanted to be ready for next gen, as will many of you who are probably watching this, as well as the fact that I kind of wanted the advantage when streaming. The Elgato is an extremely good device for live streams on Twitch and YouTube. So, great perks that come with the Elgato. Firstly, it only uses 3 cables, 2 HDMIs and a single USB. Secondly, it actually doesn't need a power supply. It just runs straight off your PC and uses very little memory and CPU usage when actually recording. Thirdly, it's really small, so I can actually fit it into the palm of my hand or my back pocket really easily. So that's great if you kind of want to go to your friend's house, record some stuff. Maybe he's got some footage on his Xbox from Black Ops 2 or something. And also, I just find that the overall product, the overall quality of the Elgato is an extreme step ahead. It's got some serious great levels of encoding behind it, and you get a really clear and crisp quality. So, as you can see guys, very small. I mean, you can't really tell much from the box, but once I put it into my hands, you can get the kind of idea. In fact, I'll give you a decent comparison. If you were to put 2.5 iPhone 5s onto an Elgato, it would be roughly the same width, and maybe a little, the Elgato is a little bit shorter. So as you can see on the bottom, it has some rubber grips as well, great for if you wanted to put it on its desk, and it has the 4 ports. So you have the AV port, the 2 HDMI ports, and the USB. And in the box, you will get all of those cables. I've obviously taken my HDMI and USBs out. And it also has a bypass cable if you wish to use a stereo headset that you're using AV for. So a very versatile and usable device. It doesn't really block you from doing anything that you'd originally do on your console. The only issue I have is that the video kind of has to initialize itself when you open the software, but it's not really much of a problem. The screen just goes blank for a couple seconds. So a great size comparison I decided to do would be the Elgato versus my Xbox controller. Don't really know why. And it was quite interesting to see how they could fit so much power into such a small device. I mean, its encoding's fantastic, its quality's fantastic, and it feels very solid, and it's also very light. So my Xbox controller stacked up quite well in comparison. As you can see, it's almost the size of the top end of the controller minus the analog sticks and the handles and such. And the width of it is also very similar itself. It's, yet again, really small. So don't worry about having it behind small spaces. I actually have it behind the monitor that you can see in the unboxing video. And it sits there very well. It doesn't make any noise whatsoever, and overall is really a top quality product. So now let's jump straight into the software. Now, you don't actually get a disc with the Elgato Game Capture HD, but that's alright guys, just go to gamecapture.com and you can download it instantly, and you can start using the software immediately. Now for this section of the review, I'm actually kind of give you a guide to the Elgato software, as well as kind of pointing out the bits that I find hit and miss, and the bits that I find that are really useful. So as you open it up, you get this kind of crisp display, and I find this extremely useful in the sense that I like to look over my shoulder and see if I'm recording everything well, if it looks good, and I just find it useful from time to time. Now over here we have the information and settings. Now the settings itself are very varied, and you can customize them to get the best experience or to muster what you can from the Elgato. I know some of you will have limited hard drive spaces, some of you don't want the file to be massive when you upload it to YouTube or wherever else, but I find that I like to use the best quality. Now it also gives you an idea of how much that's going to take. So per minute I'm doing almost 200 megabytes, which is okay. It's a little bit on the rough edges if you have a bad upload speed, so I recommend you kind of stay around better or good. Now, you get lots of settings. You can plug the Elgato into loads of devices, as you can see, but obviously choose the device that you're actually using. HDMI or components, so obviously the AV slots are there for people who wish to use that instead. And the HDMI color range is standard or expanded. Now use expanded, it gives you much more depth and quality. And I find that this kind of setting layout is very useful for your, like, the average user. I mean, it lets you know what you're doing, really. It lets you know how much you're using, what quality you're getting, and really, it kind of gives you an idea of whether your files are going to be monster or small. So let's get into the picture now. You can adjust everything here. I find to leave that all of it's on 0 because the Elgato actually adjusts to your TV very well when you first put it in to your HDMI port, so you don't really have to worry about that. But if you want to get some cool effects under it, maybe you want to do a montage or something, you can maybe up the brightness or the saturation to like give you the kind of effect that you want, as well as obviously using your software to video edit. Audio, same kind of principle. You can change the depth of it, you can add some decibels, you can lower the sound. So it's yeah, again, just there. It's very useful, very good for customizing. Now this is another useful feature I find. You can add and remove profiles, so I can maybe have a profile for a PlayStation and then a profile for an Xbox to adjust to each settings that I'm using, or hell, even a Wii U if you want to use it. Yeah, again, if you want to use a Wii U, you can use a Wii U. So now we have this. Now this is a very kind of useful feature I find with the Xbox, and I can adjust the game audio. Now you can actually do that from the Xbox itself, but it's much steadier and much stronger and very more prominent in the software. And you can do a live commentary, so I can go ahead and adjust my audios depending to how I want each one to balance out. And I really do get a great kind of sound at the end, and I really love this kind of use of the device that I can get what I want, really. I can get what I want out of it. I don't have to do mass amounts of editing when I put it into maybe Adobe Premiere Pro or Sony Vegas. It's just simple. It's there and then, so you don't have to put too much effort into it. Now this is another great feature, live streaming directly to Twitch TV or to YouTube. Now it's very easy to do. You just add it in, you add your YouTube account or Twitch account, and you can choose whatever server. Now I obviously use EU, but hell, that's kind of doing bad at the moment. But it will automatically go to your server that's in your area. And you can also title it from here, so you can actually title the stream from the software itself. So yeah, again, another nice feature. I find having to update my title on Twitch very annoying, and sometimes it doesn't even do it. So to have that kind of benefit is really good. Yeah, again, you can go into the settings here as well. Great little feature that it comes with. You can even change the maximum resolution. So really good. Now, you can only go up to 5 Mbps, which is 5000 kbps if you use streaming software. And really, that is that's the ideal viewable range for almost everyone on Twitch TV. It'd be nice to go a little bit over that, but they've kind of kept in mind that this is, if you're going to stream, it's going to be for everyone, not just for, people with monstrous internet. So, let's get down to the tags. Now, you can actually title your stream, or you can title your output to your files. So maybe you want to make sure that everything's organized and right. Okay, episode 1 of my great game, or whatever. But it's really useful to have. So you can title everything from the software. Yeah, again, another great feature. Now, the best feature from the Elgato comes down at the bottom here. Now, if you have the software open, which I usually do whenever I'm playing a game, just in case something epic happens, is that I can actually scroll back 5 minutes to find to find the clip itself. So I don't have to, if I miss something, it's not a problem. I can just go back and record from there. And obviously you can record live from the device itself. So you can record directly straight away live, or you can go back a few minutes and you can get the piece of maybe some epic footage that you missed, maybe an epic kill. So incredibly good piece of software. Okay, so this is where it kind of gets hit and miss with the Elgato Game Capture HD. When you get to the edit section, now the editing is below par. It's alright actually, it's decent, but really there is no point. So don't bother using the editing software really. If you really want to maintain the best quality, I recommend using either Sony Vegas, Adobe Premiere Pro. I mean, you can get them for a decent price, or you can just find a decent piece of software, maybe Windows Movie Maker. But ideally, I'd probably use this over Movie Maker if you aren't using Premiere Pro. And it's great because you can upload it straight to YouTube, Facebook if you want to. Don't really know why you would. And even stream it straight to your Apple devices, which is another great touch. So yeah, again, the editing software, kind of hit and miss, but if you want to use a decent editing software, I recommend you go get something like Premiere Pro or Sony Vegas, but I'd use it over maybe some of the freer softwares that are out there, because it's a decent use of software. It's a decent editing. You can kind of get into the scenes directly, which is another great kind of feature. So let's get down to the final piece of this review and show you some video footage. Now, keep in mind that, you know, with YouTube and stuff, you're going to lose a lot of quality. So it's average for a capture card to lose a lot of quality, but you can obviously up the Elgato to the best settings and obviously up your rendering to the best settings to achieve it. So overall, guys, I will give the Elgato a 9 out of 10. It's hit and miss in some areas, but it's a fantastic piece of hardware to use, and I found that it's going to be probably the best device I've used in terms of game capture recording, and I'm probably going to be keeping it for many years to come, considering it seems to be almost completely compatible with next gen. Xbox One has announced that it will be compatible with next gen. PlayStation 4, probably some news to come. I mean, they're not going to lose the whole YouTube community because they're not going to, you know, allow capture card support. So like I say, guys, if you're looking for a top quality game capture device, you can check out the Elgato Game Capture HD. I bought this for £120. I know it's for $179 roughly in the States, and it's really cheap in comparison if you consider what you're getting, and it's around the same price range as other capture cards that are out there. So 9 out of 10 for the Elgato. Great hardware, great software, great live streaming, and it was only £120, which is fairly good and around the same price range as other capture cards. I'll leave you now with some Battlefield 3 footage, guys. It's been me, Lachlan, here at Bagogames. Like, comment, subscribe as usual, and we will see you soon with some great tech and news reviews. Also, please go check out our Twitch TV page, as that's getting a revitalization, and we will be streaming very much regularly in the coming weeks.
I'm throwing a grenade! Send up grenade! Defuse the charge. Enemy machine gunner spotted. Over.